हमसे पहले था अजब तेरे जहां का मंजर, कहीं मस्जूद थे पत्थर कहीं माबूद शजर। खू गर पैकर महसूस थी इंसान की नज़र, मानता फिर कोई अनदेखे खुदा को क्यों कर। दश्त तो दश्त हैं दरिया भी न छोड़े हमने, बहर जुल्मात में दौड़ा दिए घोड़े हमने. Assalamu alaikum students, this is Dr. Ajaz again. Today we shall, I brief you about this legendary figure, Abu Zaid Abdul Rahman Ibn Khaldun, the real father, which we, known as Ibn Khaldun, the real father, or we can say the real father of this, what should I say, sociology. So the ironical or the unfortunate part for the Muslim academics is that we have not preserved this our own assets or our own forefathers. Today, early in the morning, I was on the Facebook and I have seen Professor Pirzada Muhammad Amin have posted a photograph there, and I have seen there the concept of quarantine, or the buzzword in the present pandemic, that somebody has been put under a quarantine. This concept of quarantine or quarantina was given by the real father of medicine, Ibn Sina. So it's unfortunate that we have not preserved the thought of our own legendary figures. As I have already told you in the previous lectures, the unsung hero Ali Shariati alias Bayuns. Again, today it is Ibn Khaldun. There is much less work, on Ibn Khaldun, or we have not pondered or embarked on their philosophies and thought. I just want to give you, it's difficult to do brief the personality of Ibn Khaldun in 15 minutes, but I will try my best to streamline some of his concepts, though you have to go for various books, various materials in order to understand this legendary figure. As I have already told you that his name was Abu Zaid Abdul Rahman Ibn Khaldun. He was born in 1332 in Tunis, or we can say Tunisia. His ancestors or his forefathers belonged to the Muslim Spain. Then they migrated from somewhere in 8th century to Tunis, where this Ibn Khaldun was born. His family had a very influential political affairs, or he belonged to a royal family, and the family socialization has an utmost impact on somebody's personality. Same was the case with this, what should I say, Ibn Khaldun. So Ibn Khaldun was a legendary or a multi-dimensional personality in himself. What I can say, he was a sociologist, a historian, an economist, or educationist as well. So he was a multi-dimensional, personality. So but as far as his social concepts or his social thought was concerned, he talked way back in about the environmental sociology, one of the alien subjects as far as this sociology is, or it's still in its infancy as far as environmental sociology is concerned. He talked way back in the 14th century that it is the man and environment are quite complementary with each other, as our in this Kashmiri master Anposh Dilivan Posh. So same was the case with Ibn Khaldun. He has a say on this environmental sociology. As far as his social thought was concerned, he talked, or he has given much more concepts about about social thought, which the founding fathers of sociology like Emile Durkheim, Auguste Comte, Peter M. Sorokin, Oswald Spengler, they have given later these theories, which Ibn Khaldun has already told us, or he has wrote about them way back in 14th century. So he has written many books, but one of his magnum works, और मुझे पूरी उम्मीद है कि आप उस बुक के बारे में जानते होंगे, that was मुकद्दिमा और किताबुल अबर. He has written many things in this particular book, how to streamline the societies, how to streamline the economics, how to streamline these institutions. He has talked about various states, or how to run the states and the societies. As far as his economic thought is concerned, or ilm al-iqtisad is concerned, he has focused on the agriculture or and the horticulture. He has said that agriculture is the backbone of the economy of the state. If state wants to prosper, they have to focus on the agriculture. That is why in his thought he has differentiated between this nomadic and sedentary people. Nomadic, as you might be aware, that tribal people which live in a particular community. We can say here in Kashmir we have communities like the Gujar community or Bakarwal community. They have that we feeling or the solidarity which Emile Durkheim has talked 400 years later after this. Ibn Khaldun has talked about that, which we will discuss in this particular lecture. So as far as this Ibn Khaldun, as far as his educational thought is concerned, he was on the focus that curriculum should be a skill based. People should know how to create a society in which there are people who can have a skill, और उनके पास वो सलाहियत हो कि वो चीज़ों को ईजाद कर सके या वो ऐसे इक्विपमेंट्स बना सके जो सोसाइटी के इन द लॉन्ग रन सोसाइटी के काम आ जाए. इसीलिए ये एग्रीकल्चर पर फोकस करते हैं और उसके साथ साथ टेक्नोलॉजी पर भी इनका जो है फोकस है. और ये कंसेप्चुअल एजुकेशन पर ये भरोसा, उस पर उन्होंने ज़्यादा स्ट्रेस दिया है. जो आजकल हम देख रहे हैं नाउ कंटेम्प्रेरी टाइम्स, द स्टूडेंट्स हैव मच मोर फोकस ऑन दिस गोटाफिकेशन, और जिसको हम रटा कहकर रटा मारना, वो दैट वाज नॉट हिज एजुकेशनल थॉट. ही फोकस दैट देयर शुड बी अ कंसेप्चुअल क्लियरेंस अमंग द स्टूडेंट्स. और उसके बारे में ये कहते हैं कि अगर कोई कंसेप्ट आपको पढ़ना है उसको आप 3 बार पढ़िए, 3 किताबों से पढ़िए. So as far as his thought or the social thought is concerned, again I can say that just like Ali Shariati, Ilyas Bhai Yunus, which we have discussed in the past, or like Allama Muhammad Iqbal, Ibn Khaldun's philosophy was, again, it was ये भी ये सोचते थे कि that why this degeneration or the decline in the Muslim world has वो क्यों हो गया मुसलमानों में, that middle ages were considered as a golden period for the Muslims, then the decline or the degeneration of the Muslim Spain, and that ultimately turned into a Christianity. उसका that have created a long lasting effect on his thought. और इनमें ये फ़र्क थी कि ये सिर्फ उन चीज़ों को पढ़ते नहीं थे, उन चीज़ों पर ये रिसर्च करते थे कि what are the causes of that, why we are seeing the decline in the Muslim societies. Then he reached to at one point he has said that this is a war between this, what should I say, which I have already told you in the previous lecture, Islamic orthodoxy or the or philosophic inquiry, or the, we can say this again, rationalization, or the what should I say, Islamic orthodoxy. But I do not want to go deep what actually this Islamic orthodoxy is. That's a very deep subject. In order to understand, he has said that we should, again, just like Ali Shariati or Ilyas Bhai Yunus or Allama Muhammad Iqbal, he has said that we should create an equilibrium between what is positive and what is negative for our societies. If something is positive for us, then we should adopt that. We should adopt modernization. We should adopt this the educational system of Finland, the number one educationally developed country. There is no wrong in that. But in the same time, we should go for adaptation of these educational traits via the Quran or the teachings of Prophet Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. So in that manner, he has said that create a balance between what is good for us and what's not good for us, or implementation of traditions, or the implementation of scientific laws, or the implementation of what should I say, modernization. He has given one of the one major what should I say concept that is called as asibia. That is he has said that it's a motor for social change. Asibia means in nutshell, it is a social solidarity or a cohesion or a unity among the people, or among and Ibn Khaldun is saying that दिस कोहेजन और दिस वी फीलिंग, जिसके बारे में मैंने आपसे बात की कि कोहेजन के बारे में फिर 400 साल के बाद इमाइल डुरखैम ने कहा कि एक पर्टिकुलर कम्युनिटी में हम देखते हैं दैट यूनिटी ऑफ द असीबिया, विच Ibn Khaldun has, he has his thought, I should say, like 400 years before. He has said that Asibia is a major thing, or it's a major part. The strongest of your unity, जितना आप में यूनिटी हो, जितना आप में कोहिजन हो, जितना आप में तालमेल हो, आप उतने स्ट्रांग हो जाएंगे और आपके राइवल्स उतनी उनको मुश्किल हो जाएगी उनको आप पर अटैक करने के लिए। तो इस तरीके से ये फोकस करते हैं दैट वी शुड फोकस ऑन दिस, व्हाट शुड आई से, यूनिटी। और ये कहते हैं कि एक यूनिटी विल रीच टू इट्स क्लाइमैक्स, देन किसी का जवाल आ जाएगा और किसी का किसी का इर्तिका हो जाएगा। इट मीन्स दैट पीटरम सरोकिन, जिसके बारे में कहते हैं वन ऑफ द रिनाउंड सोशोलॉजिस्ट, दिस साइक्लिक चेंज, उन्होंने कहा है। इसी तरीके ये सोशल सॉलिडारिटी, जिसके बारे में इमाइल डुरखैम का कहना था कि सोशल सॉलिडारिटी जो मैकेनिकल सॉलिडारिटी और ऑर्गेनिक सॉलिडारिटी के ये दरमियान जो है ये फ़र्क करते हैं। फिर तो इब्न खल्दून का ज़्यादा जो फोकस था वो था जो इमाइल डुरखैम की मैकेनिकल सॉलिडारिटी थी। इसीलिए ये ट्राइबल जो सोसाइटीज़ हैं या एग्रीकल्चरल और पास्टोरल सोसाइटीज़ हैं, उनको ये ज़्यादा फोकस करते हैं दैट दे आर द बिल्डिंग ब्लॉक्स, और ये जो गरीब लोग होते हैं, ट्राइबल लोग होते हैं, दे आर द बिल्डिंग ब्लॉक्स फॉर द सोसाइटी, और वो चेंज लाने में जो वो है अहम किरदार अदा करते हैं। जैसे अल्लामा मोहम्मद इकबाल ने अपनी पोइट्री में जो है एक जगह कहते हैं, जाके होते हैं मसाजिद में सफारा तो गरीब, जहमत रोज़ा अगर करता है कोई गवारा तो गरीब, नाम अगर कोई लेता है हमारा तो गरीब, पर्दा अगर रखता है कोई तुम्हारा तो गरीब, उमरा नशाई दौलत में गाफिल है हमसे, जिंदा है मिल्लत बैजा गुरबा के दम से। So he has said that this asiba or the social unity or the cohesion is important for the, what should I say, for a particular society. He has given the points or some points which strengthen this asiba or the unity. Number one, he has given this power. That power should be used in a positive manner, that there should be a technological power and there should be a unity among these masses of a particular group or a particular tribe or a state or a country or an empire. And number second is this leadership. Leadership is must. Leadership, he has said that leadership can play an important role as far as this, what should I say, the creation of this cohesion or the asibia among the people. They will ultimately, reach to the culmination. Number third, he has said that it's a concept of religion. He has said without religion, the asibia or the unity among the people is not possible. It is the concept of religion which can give you cohesion, or which can prove asset for this, what should I say, for this unity among the people. He has also seen this the negative impact, or this, what should I say, some factors which can weaken this asibia or the unity. Number one, he has said this wealth and corruption. As you can understand that this the disintegration of the Ottoman Empire, or the shift or the change from Khilafat to a kingism, that was ultimately the cause of this wealth and corruption that had erupted in these Muslim countries, which has changed their stature from this Khilafat to kingism. And number second is power. Again, he has said that if power used in a negative manner or in a way which can suppress the masses, then ultimately it can, the masses will rebel and it will ultimately disintegrate the group or disintegrate the country. This was just a gist for, as far as this Ali Shariti is concerned. He is one of the legendary figures and institutions in himself. I have already, uploaded some text and I have sent it to your WhatsApp group. I hope you will take some advantages from those. I have sent you some 50 authentic text pages. You will, just take advantage from those pages. Another, I have one book that is Ibn Khaldun, his life and works. It has been written by this, what should I say, Muhammad Abdullah Inan. here is this book, and you can take here Ibn Khaldun, his life and works, M.A. Inan. You can take advantage from this book as well, though. So in the next lecture we will discuss these social institutions and the impact of Islam on them. Till then, stay home, stay safe. Thank you very much.